Hi everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with your free daily analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. On the daily chart, Bitcoin so far today, another very small range day, overall moving a little bit higher, still waiting for it to break above resistance, which is just below 29,000. If it can do that, I'll expect it to move up and away a little before a backtest of support and then moving up to next resistance about 31,000. Volume for Bitcoin is very strongly bullish. The last strong upward session had really strong push from volume, and then downward sessions had weaker and declining volume. So the volume profile is bullish. Someone's asked me to go over ADX and how that works. So here it is. On Bitcoin, ADX is telling us there's an upward trend. The black line is the average directional indicator line. That's what ADX stands for. When the black line has a positive slope and is above 15, the market is trending. When the black line has a negative slope or is below 15, the market is not trending. When the black line is above 15 and has a positive slope, we then look at the DX lines. The green one is positive, the red one is negative, to tell us what direction the trend is in. So if the black line has a positive slope and is above 15, the positive DX line is above the negative, the trend is up. If the black line has a positive slope and is above 15, the negative DX line is above the positive, the trend is down. When the black line has a negative slope, there is no clear trend, normally consolidation or that flux between changing from one trend to another. I use 15 as a cutoff mark to remove false signals. For Bitcoin, I've looked back at its price history, and when the ADX line is above 45, the trend is nearing very extreme territory. It can reach as high as above 70 or even 80 when Bitcoin has a very strong trend though. All of this is in my Technical Analysis Basics ebook, along with the explanation of various other indicators and techniques that I use. So get some free giveaways today to help you with your technical analysis. Click on the link below to go to my website and you can download one or more of these 3 giveaways. I have an ebook on Technical Analysis Basics for you. These are the contents of the ebook, several chapters on some basics, some indicators, some techniques, looking at gaps, looking at scale for your charts, and I've even got 2 steps to a high probability trade setup there for you. Another free giveaway is this easy candlestick pattern guide to the major candlestick reversal patterns, bullish and bearish, diagrams, descriptions of how they should be read and in what context. And a third giveaway, I have this Elliott Wave structure guide, 3 pages giving you all of the Elliott Wave structures with all of the rules you need to know and diagrams of the ideal form for each. Motive structures on 1 page and all of the corrective structures on 2 pages. So click on the link below and get any one or all of these 3 giveaways for free. Bitcoin ADX tells us there is an upward trend. It's in a relatively early stage because the black ADX line has a long way to go to get to 45 and above. In a trending market, I use ADX in conjunction with RSI and money flow. I will wait until I see RSI move extremely overbought and then exhibit multiple bearish divergence with ADX reaching very extreme before I consider the upward trend in danger territory. There is a very, very long way to go before we achieve that look for Bitcoin. This is a very bullish look. This is an upward trend in a relatively new stage. Money flow also not overbought. A long way to go before this reaches overbought and then exhibits multiple bearish divergence as it can. Someone's asked me to step back and look at weekly charts for Ethereum and XRP for the Elliott Wave counts. I'll put it in context and let's look at the monthly chart as well with a full price history for both. For Ethereum, from the start of its price history in 2015 to this high here in January 2018, I see a 5-wave impulse. I'm labeling that cycle wave 1. It's lasted 29 months. That's about right for a cycle degree wave. It's followed by a very deep 94% correction for cycle 2, subdividing as a double zigzag. So we've got a 5 up and a 3 down. We then look for the next 5 up and 3 down. That's complete. And I'll label this primary 1 and 2 within a new impulse for cycle wave 3, which may only subdivide as an impulse. So this is an extremely bullish wave count for Ethereum. It now expects a primary degree 3rd wave within a cycle degree 3rd wave is in its very early stages. And it's absolutely normal for these markets to form slow basing action, especially for a long extended wave. I'll expect it's extremely likely for primary wave 3 to be a long extended extension, and then I'll expect primary wave 5 to move multiple distances of primary 3, but in a shorter space of time. I expect that cycle wave 3 is going to look like a much bigger version of cycle wave 1. Long primary wave 1, deep primary wave 2, primary wave 3 was multiple lengths to primary wave 1. It was 19.36 times the length of primary 1. Primary 4, a triangle, and then primary wave 5 was over in a fraction of the time of primary 3, but it is a lot longer in length than primary 3. This is where most of the profit is. It's in the fifth wave. Here's the end of primary 1 and 2 on the weekly chart, the start of primary 3, now with intermediate 1, 2. Minor 1, 2, looking now for a third wave at 1, 2, 3, 4 large degrees. This is an extremely bullish wave count. Intermediate 1 an impulse, intermediate 2 a double zigzag, good fit, nice proportion here. Minor wave 1 an impulse, minor 2 a double zigzag, good proportion again. It's okay that minor wave 2 has lasted longer than intermediate wave 2 because I'm expecting intermediate wave 3 to extend. When waves extend, they do so in both time and price. And when they extend in time, the subdivisions within them, like stretching out an accordion, the subdivisions within them, you can see them at higher time frames and they take longer. So for a third wave, at multiple degrees, it's absolutely okay that minor wave 2 is extended in terms of time compared to intermediate wave 2, 1 degree higher. I hope that concept makes sense, and that's one reason why those durations for the different degrees need to be approached with quite a great deal of flexibility because of the tendency for waves to extend. On the daily chart for Ethereum, a little downward session with a bit of a bullish long lower wick, still finding support at 1550. The volume profile is bullish, volume strongly pushing price higher off the low. That's good to see. ADX is currently declining. That's the black ADX line has a negative slope, so there is no clear trend indicated. Back here, the black ADX line had a positive slope. The negative DX line was above the positive DX line, so here ADX indicated a downward trend. When ADX reached above 45, the downward trend was extreme. Here's another measure of extreme. When the black ADX line reaches above both DX line, the trend is also extreme. When both of those conditions are met, black ADX line above both DX lines and above 45, then we can say the trend is very extreme. It can get more extreme for these markets. It only reached up to about 50 here, but it can get to 60, 70, or even 80 or so. ADX is a bound indicator from 0 to 100. Now the black ADX line starts to decline, telling us that the previous very extreme trend has likely ended. As the black ADX line declines and the DX lines whipsaw crossing over each other, that's normal for a consolidation. Stepping back and looking at the monthly chart for XRP with a full price history, the wave count's essentially the same as Ethereum. I have a first wave at cycle degree over here lasting 3 years, cycle wave 2, a deep 96% correction of cycle 1 lasted 2 years, so there's good proportion. Cycle 1 subdivides nicely as an impulse with primary 1, 2, 3 longer than 1, and 4 a triangle in here, and then 5 longer than 3. So again, this is where the most profit in the shortest amount of time, looking for the fifth wave. When 2 ends, 3 begins. Cycle wave 3 may only subdivide as an impulse. Within that, I have primary 1 and 2 over. I expect cycle wave 3 is most likely to extend, so the waves within it will therefore be extended in both price and time. From the low of primary 2 here it is on the weekly chart, it subdivides really well as a double zigzag. When 2 ends, 3 begins, so the XRP wave count has now an intermediate degree third wave within primary 3 within cycle wave 3. It's possible intermediate 2 could continue lower though. Here it's not as deep as a second wave correction normally is for this market, so if it does continue lower it may not move beyond the start of 1 below 0.2794. That is the risk for this wave count at this time. XRP is essentially consolidating, and it has been for quite a while. There's very strong resistance at 55 cents. There's support and resistance about 0.4875, not perfectly, and it's not particularly strong. Below that, stronger support at 0.46. The volume profile is bullish, with upward sessions having stronger volume than downward. The ADX line has a negative slope. It tells us there's no clear trend for this market. That's it from me with your free update. I hope everyone's having a lovely day.